Tomorrow, music lovers of all ages will gather in vinyl shops across the globe for the 18th annual Record Store Day. The soundtrack to this year's event is a special, exclusive collaboration from a pair of rock and roll Hall of Famers, Paul Getty's Chuck D and drummer John Densmore of The Doors. Their debut album, titled No Country for Old Men, was recorded specifically for Record Store Day and arrives in stores, as you might imagine, just in time for tomorrow's holiday. And those legendary musicians, Chuck D and John Densmore, join us now, along with the co-founder of Record Store Day, Michael Kurtz. Thank you all for being here. Two Hall of Famers at the table. A great honor indeed. So, Chuck, I'll start with you. What, why this? What's important about this holiday? What's important about this song?
Well, Michael Kurtz brought us together. I was Record Store Day ambassador in 2014, and I met the great John Densmore that day. And we were talking about, hey, your beats, my rhymes. And I wasn't half joking, but, Record Store Day is this thing where it saluted and gave homage to independent record stores, especially back then when they were trying to rid out the configuration of vinyl and all the things that makes recordings and fans collectibles and all fun, and it came back on its own. Michael can explain more on that, but my day was meeting John, and just in that first day, who knows? Who knows where the music takes you?
So tell us, John, where did the music take you?
Well, it's actually the visual that really grabbed me. I knew sonically he was brilliant, and he said, you got the beats, I got the rhymes, let's make dope. And then he sends me the word dope with the D-O in the Doors lettering and the P-E in the Public Enemy lettering. I'm down.
That's good.
I'm working with this guy.
Michael, I want to sort of put this in the context of 2026. This device is misery-making in general, and the idea that you're here to preach the gospel of vinyl. For those who don't appreciate this stuff, this material already, how do you explain why it's powerful?
It's just, I think one of the magical things that came out of Record Store Day is restoring the art of the music. When I bought the Doors album, my first album I ever bought, Strange Days, I bought it because of that crazy cover, and Record Store Day just really celebrates that art. So you marry it with that really warm sound you get from vinyl, but the artwork that is created now for vinyl, packages for fans to make it collectible, is just spectacular.
Yeah, vinyl's like generational blood. It's connecting generations, young to the old, and they're like sonic posters. A comic book can't give you an audio, but young people, and I mean that young people under 50, or even hanging vinyl and never playing it. And I come out of DJ culture, so we praise and pay homage to records and recordings specifically. I remember being 7 years old and hearing The Doors on WABC AM radio in the city of New York, and to come full circle on something to make something dope is pretty dope.
Mm-hmm. Plus, what pleases me is the cover has Chuck's drawings, and I don't know, a little felt tip pen, but it gets to the soul of the situation.
Yeah, no, I mean, certainly vinyl very much back, and beyond just the aficionados. Like, we have a record player now. Like, it's for so many, it's the best way to hear music. And Michael, I guess though, is it also a time where, to Pablo's point, I mean, so many people just consume music by their phones, but it's also a challenge for artists, right? It's like streaming services. It's much harder to make a living doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I particularly feel really good about the fact that vinyl has enabled artists to make money, because they actually get a much better pay on whenever somebody buys an album. It's a different structure. So yeah, I feel really good about that.
I tell people all the time, scrolling ain't reading, texting ain't writing, and you can't just swipe a life. And the thing about it, when you have something in your hand, you're like, wow. Big up go to JP Hesse, our engineer, and C-Doc Snyder for adding art to the art.
And you can read about the musicians who actually played on it, rather than have to find them on some online site.
Yeah.
Oh, reading the liner notes, that's beautiful. That saying just there about the texting, not writing, that all that Put that on a shirt. That is what we.
Yeah, you got it right here on Morning Joe.
That is perfect.
Scrolling, they reading, text, they writing, and then next to this man, I know that at least I'm the second best vocalist that ever got in front of his drum.
There we go. That's great. On that note, we have to leave it, but thank you guys so much. The new album, No Country for Old Men, a record store day exclusive. It's available in stores tomorrow to mark the annual vinyl holiday. Co-founder of Record Store Day, Michael Kurtz, and Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Chuck D, John Densmore. Our thanks to all of you. And we'll be back in just 2 minutes with more Morning Joe.
Still, I can't borrow a rhyme this time. Management, admin, AI. Above the summer, watch another get dumber over numbers. Sucker gadgets, bigger, broader, higher, looser. Cheap, I used to have a beat.